Hi, and welcome to Business Communications, Business 209, the orientation. We're going to take a overview of the course first, and then we're going to look at information on the syllabus and course outline. We're going to talk about the registration process for a separate website called Connect, and let you know that we need you to post a discussion board intro and an email. So this is just a verbal approach to the orientation. First of all, my name's ldunn. I'm a professor here at Luzerne County Community College for this going into my 17th year now. I've been teaching for about 22 years in total. And my introduction and information about me, including a picture of my dog, is on the discussion board introduction area. So take a look. So let's tell you about the class a little bit before we go into the course outline. Now, all the items we're talking about, and there's a few more in this orientation, are within the orientation folder in Blackboard. And Blackboard is really where Blackboard Learn is where you go. It's the core of your class. That is where you will go to do all your assignments and requirements of the course. Specifically, the course information area is where all of the chapters are set up, the due dates, and all the information that's required for each chapter will be found. The other item we'll be using is Connect, and we'll talk more about Connect when we get into the registration process, but you'll be completing various activities. One is called Learn Smart, graded exercises. You'll be completed graded written assignments there, as well as graded quizzes. All links to these items can be found in Blackboard. So I just want to give you a brief overview of the course where we'll be learning how to communicate in a business environment. It's one of the most important business courses you can take, in my opinion, especially in these days. It seems when we talk to our advisory board members who tell us about what are our students lacking, what do you see of students coming out of college, what do they need us to focus on more? It's communication. So it's a very, very important class. Now, if you want to read about the specific items we will cover in the course, the goals, the objectives of the course, please download the course syllabus and you will find all that information in there. I don't have that in my presentation. I focus on the course outline, which is where we talk about what I'm requiring of you in the course. First of all, again, there is my name. My office is in Building 7, room 701J. My phone number is there and my email, and there are my office hours. The required materials for the course. Now you have three different options of purchasing the book and the Connect Access code. The first is probably your most expensive. It's a hardcover book with the Connect Access code. The ISBN is there. The second option is the loose leaf version, which is what I believe they offer at the bookstore here at LCC with the Connect Access code. And that's probably going to be your cheapest route. We are very lucky to have a great partnership with McGraw-Hill, and they offer our students greatly discounted books and access codes. So please let the bookstore be your first option. And then the third option is you don't want a paper book, you just want an e-text and the access code to complete the work and connect, and the ISBN is there for you. So please explore all those options and make sure you have the required material for the course. Now, like I said, the technology we use is Blackboard Learn, which you already have access into, and all work will be found within Blackboard Learn. So if you need to go somewhere else to complete something, there will be a link within the chapter folder for you to access that. And the area that you will most often have to access is Connect. And Connect is a separate website that you purchase access to. We're going to tell you about how to register for that. Once you register, you're in it and you don't have to worry about doing anything else. Just clicking on the link to get to it and completing the required work. PowerPoints are within the folders and it's optional, but if you need PowerPoint or want to view one, you'll need the PowerPoint software and then Adobe Reader. for PDF files that you may need to download. Most files are in PDF in Blackboard. Now there is a screenshot of the course information area and what's going to be required in the course. Notice that each folder, now we start with the appendix actually of the book, Appendix A. It's a great place. We're going to be reviewing all of our grammar techniques. You really need to be able to properly write sentences and paragraphs. You have to proofread for your spelling. All of those errors will be deducted from your written submissions. Remember, it's a communication course. We need to learn how to write in this course, and that's what we're really focusing on. So in the folder, it will tell you what you should do. Read the entire chapter once, twice, however many times you need to. View the PowerPoint. Listen to the voice lecture. They're YouTube based. There's also YouTube audio from the author that you can listen directly from Peter Carden. Really nice guy. I've met him. Then we go in and we complete what's called a Learn Smart activity. Learn Smart activity will take you about 30 minutes, and it's based on your reading, and it's multiple choice questions to assess how well you mastered the material from the reading. These become 15% of your final grade. There's no late submissions allowed. Then you'll complete a graded exercise area. It's not one exercise, there's a few of them. Now for the Appendix A, there are none. But for the other chapters, there will be. The exercises are not timed, and they do have strict due dates. You can complete the exercises up to 2 times, and the final of the 2 grades, the higher one, will be your final grade for that chapter. These exercises become 20% of your final grade. Then you'll complete a written assignment, and each chapter has one of these. The written assignment, if you could do it right within a text box, or you can do it on a DOC or TXT extension file and upload it into the submission area. This is where you need to make sure you are writing properly. Your grammar, your spelling, your sentence, and paragraph structure are right on and in line. And beyond that, you need to make sure that you're properly writing, whether it be you'll learn how to write good news, bad news, policies, all different kinds of business documents. Now, these are manually graded by me. I usually grade them within 1 week. They account for 40% of your final grade, and they all have due dates, and you lose 10 points per day that they are late. The next item and the last item normally in a chapter is a quiz. There are 20 questions, true, false, multiple choice. You have 40 minutes to complete it in one sitting, and you have 1 attempt. So this is probably the last thing you want to do for that chapter. You're going to lose 5 points per day that it is late. Certain chapters, and they're listed there in step 9, have graded discussion board requirements. So the chapters are 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 11. And there'll be a link within the folder where you'll answer a question, a case, maybe do some research, and you will write your answer in a discussion board area. Punctuation, grammar, capitalization, organization of your answer are beyond important. You are writing in a business setting. Remember that at all times. Even when you're emailing me, you are writing according to what you're being taught, and you learn. Now's the time to start practicing. You're going to learn how to write a business email. Then make sure you practice it, and I will remind you of that if you email me. You have to complete these graded discussion boards. You need to respond to another student's posting. You could agree with them, you could disagree with them, but if you do, you have to explain why. You could cite resources, you could cite examples, but you must make it a thorough answer, not just, I agree, that was cool. That's not a business communication. Okay, so get into the practice of addressing your communication on a business level. Now, Any kind of general questions you may have, you can post to a chapter discussion board. They're not graded, they're not required. I look at them once a week, twice a week, and I'll respond to them. If you need a more immediate answer, please email me directly. Okay, and that brings us to our next area. But that is how each chapter is um, organized. There's my word. How it's organized and the requirements and all the items that are included as part of your final grade are within each folder. Again, you want to read the chapter at least twice. You want to listen to an instructor voice lecture. Complete your Learn Smart activity, 15% of your grade. Graded exercises are 20%. There's a link in Blackboard. They are completed in the Connect site. The graded written assignment, also there's a link in Blackboard. That's 40%, by the way. I apologize for that error. If I proofread, it wouldn't have been there. LOL, right? Um, but graded written assignments, I will manually grade. You post them in Connect or you enter your answer in Connect. Quizzes are 10% of your final grade. A link to them also is in Blackboard, but you do complete them in Connect. And remember, certain chapters you will have graded discussion board postings. They account for 15% of your final grade. Okay, so again, there's our assessment with our grade distribution or percentage of the grade each category is, and then the letter grade associated with the final number. Now, I do want to talk about how I determine grades because a lot of teachers use the point system. I don't. I use a percentage and a weighted average by category. So going through an example will best show you this. So let's say you did 3 quizzes and you got a 60, a 100, and a 75. Well, that's the quiz category. We have 4 or 5 different categories: quizzes, Learn Smart, graded exercises, graded written assignments, and we have graded discussion boards. So what I do in each category is determine the number of assignments for the semester, really. But let's say we only did 3 so far. Okay, so what's the total of all 3 quizzes? I add each score together, 235. You've taken 3 quizzes, divided by 3, 78, 0.33 is your average. Now let's say I did that for each category. So you can see the quiz there is 78.33. That's 10% of your final grade. So I multiply that by 10%. Let's say your graded discussion board postings were 85 after I averaged them together. Multiply that by 15%. That's the percentage weight of your grade. Graded exercises, let's say the average for that category is a 90. 20% of your grade is from graded exercises. Your graded written assignments end up being 81.3 average. 40% of your grade is based on that average. And then Learn Smart activities, 15%. So we multiply out the weight by the average for each category and then add those up. So after doing that computation, your total grade would be an 84.933, which would be a B in our conversion chart on the previous slide. Okay, so when you're looking in Blackboard, that's another thing I want to make sure you understand. If you click on the My Grades area, it's going to show you all your grades so far throughout the semester. But your averages are not a running average, meaning they're not computing your average as you go. It's telling you, here's your average. If you stop doing work from this point forward, that's your average. So my grade book is set up as if the whole semester is done. And the averages are already, the formulas are already in those fields saying, assume the whole semester is done. So you'll see when you first do your first assignment, that average is going to be very low, but as you go through the semester, it will keep increasing it. So if you need to determine your grade or want to know your grade at a certain point during the semester, you're going to have to do this calculation manually. What else is in here? Plagiarism and cheating, which I'm beyond what's the word? I just can't tolerate any type of cheating or plagiarism. if you think you're going to go and get an answer key, well, first of all, there is no answer key for this course, so good luck with that. But you will never be able to plagiarize from the author. There might be one or two instances that you might be able to, and I've caught students doing it. You will immediately receive a 0 on that assignment, and you'll be advised, if you do this again, you're failing the course and you're being reported to academic affairs. I don't tolerate it at all. The business world does not tolerate it, so don't even get in the practice of being unethical. Okay? Contacting me, I ask that you contact me through email via the Learn system. Please don't email me from a personal or even your LCC account. You select the email option in our course and email me from there. I have many courses this semester, and if I see, oh, Joe Smith from Business 209 has a question, then it's much easier for me to respond. The instructor email policy, you must check your email daily. You are not exempt from any changes in the course because you failed to check your email. It's up to you to determine what email address is being used for communication in Blackboard, and you could check with me on that. It's not a big deal. Tutorial assistance is available at the school, and that's in your syllabus, as well as accessibility services. So please check into that. I just want to bring it to your attention. All in the outline. The last day to drop this course is November 2nd. It's a Friday. And of course, the outline is subject to change. Now, before we get into the Connect registration, one thing I want to bring to your attention is the next item in your list is an assignment listing with due dates. So all of the assignments are in one place right in front of you. I strongly urge you to create a calendar of these assignments and their due dates. And I'll talk about that again, I believe, at the end of my presentation. But a separate presentation is available on the orientation folder for you to complete your Connect registration. So I encourage you to listen to that and get that done. And there it is, the assignment listing with due dates. So please download that, make your calendar now, make sure you know all due dates. Generally, they're Sunday nights. I try to keep it pretty simple for you. I would like you to also complete the introduction on the discussion board. Introduce yourself to the class following the requirements that are there. Mine's already out there. And then email me following the information and the requirements of that email that you've basically completed the orientation, you're registered for Connect, you are ready to rock and roll with the class. Okay, so I welcome you. I look forward to working with all of you this semester. And if you have any questions, please email me.